Thor, Jane Foster, the mighty Thor. Hey, welcome back to the channel. All right, it's time for the July tier list. I'm super pumped for this one, not only because I'm pumped up for this every month, but because one of my favorite new champions in the game came out in July. I've recently taken to rank 4, Hulkling. Also, we're going to start this a little differently than normal because we're on the page here. We're in the skill premium section. What is that all about? Night Thrasher, my buddy MCoC, part of the Illuminati, the rankings team that helps me out with this whole thing because one person can't know everything. There's just not possible. He recently took his champion, Night Thrasher, to rank 4, SIG 200. He's a battleground leader, alliance leader for 4 Loki, so it lets you know how good he is at this game. And he's taken Night Thrasher to rank 4, and that's what I want to highlight, right? Tier list, it's really fun. We talk about it, we enjoy it, and hey, I'm putting this out there, but I'm doing this to be helpful so that people know, hey, I pulled this champion. This is what Vega and the Illuminati, the rankings team, this is what they think of a champion. But then all of us really believe you gotta go do your own research. You gotta play this champion. You gotta figure out, do I actually like them? And here's the other thing on why I started off with MCoC and his Night Thrasher is premium champions are still really good. They can do a lot in this game. Don't let a tier list make you think you've got to rank up Nick Fury or you just won't be able to do things and clear in this game. I play in 4 Loki, Tier 1 War, Map 8. Except for Karina's Volume 2, I have all content done. I don't have a rank 4 Kitty Pryde. I don't have a rank 4 Nick Fury, and I don't have a rank 4 Hercules. I don't know how to play Quake either. These things can be done. There are a ton of good champions in this game. This game is so big, so immense. All right, I think we got the message across there. Pumped up to do that. Let's get to those rankings. All right, and before we go too far, big shout out to the whole MCoC Illuminati. That's what I call them. These guys are so smart at this game. You can see them all listed there, right there, rankings team. Subscribe and learn. That's what I've done to get a lot better at this game over the last few years. All right, let's go ahead and jump into this. Oh, remember, this spreadsheet will be linked in the description. You can go to it. For the most part, they all have links. You can see them in the blue there. We'll take you to the playlist on my channel, which has videos that either I've made or the Illuminati or even some other creators out there. There's some good ones that aren't in the Illuminati, obviously, who've done some great videos. Make sure you go do your research. All right, now due to technical limitations, remember, I'm on a bit of a vacation. I am also working on this vacation. It's a long one. I have to do this a little differently. So we're actually going to do this by class all the way across. Let me know if you actually like that format better. I think this might be kind of a fun way to do this and kind of have it make a little more sense as we're looking at class relationships and things like that. So here we go. We're going to start off with the Mystics, of course, tier above all. This just means they're the tier above all, man. That's just the way it is, right? There's really no developments in that one. Doom, Clairvoyant, Diablo, Sorcerer Supreme, Tiger, Magic. Sometimes a lot of folks ask questions. Make sure you check out the legend there on what is the right side of the screen, letting you know about their recoil friendly, SIG ability, that sort of stuff. All those things that people like to know. So we're going to continue to move on down. We're at top shelf there. Super Premium is our first champion from last month in Wiccan. I really do like Wiccan. I kind of feel like he's a bit of an updated Symbiote Supreme in that if there are buffs, he's going to be doing incredible damage for you. Now, he doesn't handle them the way Symbiote Supreme does. He handles them with that neutralize. You do finish a combo. To do that, I really like his awakened ability and that part of anytime there's an awakened ability, your ability is like if a champion's immune to this, then the damage source is now turned to that. I really like that. I got out the Essentials video on Wiccan, really giving me an idea of like, if you pull him, what's he adding to your team? Why would you rank him up? Really happy, proud of those videos. I think he's a worthy addition to this game. Super Premium is an excellent, amazing ranking. Let's see how he develops in this game. I also think he has some defensive use, but we'll cover that more in the Battlegrounds rankings, which we're also doing. I like Wiccan. If you've pulled him and you've ranked him, let me know how you're using him, how you're feeling. How do you feel about that analogy to Symbiote Supreme there? Again, the updated portion of it, why I'm saying an updated version, is because we're seeing where things like Mystic Ward, or if this ability is nullified, then it becomes a passive or something like that. Now, that's really only been Hulkling so far, but it feels like a sign. It feels like a sign of things to come. Okay, we'll go ahead and move into the premium tier. Like, if you ask me, hey, Should I rank up this champion? My first instinct is yes, and then I'm like, let's check why, right? If you're like, I just love them, then it's like, oh yeah, go ahead and do it. But let me see your roster. Let's see what you're working with. What is the purpose? What is the point? Does your roster going to benefit from it? And there's no changes in that. Then we get to call. This is a little hard. This one's a little tough for me because, the idea with call is they just have a job to do. It's like this is the baseline of ranking. If you don't see a champion on this tier or in this sheet, it could be a mistake, but often it's just, they're not worth ranking. Let's not spend time or space on them, okay? America Chavez, I could see her getting pushed up a little bit. I still think she badly could use a buff to do the things that she seems designed to do. Thor, Jane Foster, the mighty Thor. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, right? I know we get excited for the buffs, and I'm one of the folks saying that, hey, look, I think one of the points of the buff program was to minimize the pain of pulling them. If you're early on and you pull them, you can rank them and do a lot of things. She can do things. She can. There's just a lot of other champions that, unless you just love the mighty Thor, I think you're better off ranking these other champions. So I get it. It's tough. I just saw the movie. I did enjoy it. No spoilers will be coming. Maybe I saw someone wrote this somewhere. I think it may have been Cam. There's like, maybe hopefully she gets the Gamora treatment and she gets 2 or 3 buffs along the way and they get it right where they intend. So unfortunately, that's Thor, Jane Foster, the mighty Thor in the call tier. So let's move on to Mutant. We've already kind of explained what the tiers are, so I don't think we'll spend time on that. No developments in there until we get to the top shelf. Now, Colossus is highlighted in pink. Pink means we're going to talk about them today, right? Like I said, some technical things we got to work with. We're not using the microphone emoji today. I get it. And I tried to demote Colossus once before, and you all let me know you did not like that at all. And I do like to take your advice and your opinions, because like I said, one person can't know it all. The one thing I will say is I think moving Colossus to Super Premium, which he may have coming up soon, is just a sign of the expanding game and the limitations that he has, or the wanting to bring in a lot of synergy partners to increase his damage or his crit rate or things like that, I think is starting to show more. Now, again, as I said, premium champions can do a ton. So you may be able to clear whole lanes of Act 7.4 or Book 8 or whatever they're calling it these days with Colossus, with him all synergized up. And he's great, and that would make a ton of sense. But if we're giving out just blanket default rank up advice, I could really see Colossus moving down a tier. I want to learn something here. I think communication is important. So I'm letting you know that may be coming here on the tier list. He's still good. He still has all those immunities, can put out a ton of damage. Doesn't have to parry, I know that. But if we're giving up rank up advice as far as like what he does, could see him moving down in the next month or two. Keep that in mind. Now, the next one highlighted is Havoc. Havoc's great, and somehow I don't know if he just went under the radar for a long time or if the game is just developing in a certain way. Part of me thinks it might be the game developing and expanding. We're seeing more and more need for energy resistance as a thing, right? Guardian came into the game and getting him at that SIG 200 and all of that. This energy resistance is a big deal. And we're seeing it more and more in champions. We're seeing energy damage. We're seeing nodes do a variety of energy type damages. So that's making a big deal for Havoc. It was Slay that has actually really been working on it. I think Slay and Nerd, if I remember the two, have been talking about this for a while. A variety of damaging sources with the damage over time. And then, of course, that big, massive SP3. We're seeing him have use in high tier war. And then, of course, clearing content in Book 24 and Act 9 and all of these things. So keep an eye on Havoc. Could see him either moving up in Super Premium, potentially the top shelf. I'm not seeing that myself right now. I have taken him to rank 3, and I think this is more something where Battlegrounds, and in that Battleground tier list, you're going to see how highly ranked I have him if you haven't checked that out yet. All right, now let's move on to Science. Science, the tier above all, it is what it is. That's pretty static. Hard to make your way into that or to fall out of it. The first one we have highlighted here, and the only one in Science tier, is Immortal Hulk. Now, Summer of Pain, we saw Buddy Lee doing tremendous things with Immortal Hulk, right? And part of it, and part of what we always talk about here is, okay, Buddy Lee can do that. I don't think I can. And maybe you can, but I don't know how many of the player base really can. Additionally, that was one event, and it was a meaningful event, and we got some great rewards from it. However, How much are you using him in other content? You know, there's some difficulties because of the way he's played and using him in high tier war. I would imagine that goes down in tier wars too. It's not just tier 1, tier 2, Alliance Quest, these sorts of things. I could see him being ranked down. But if you, again, look at this. Be ranked with Scorpion, Spider-Man, Red Hulk, and Spider-Ham. That's a compliment. That's a good thing. It's just he'd be moved down. If you have one ranked up and you're using him for a bunch of stuff, please let me know. It would be extremely, extremely helpful. Moving into tech, there's really no changes in tech. It's been pretty static for a while. There's a large grouping in the super premium, and I think it makes sense. If you have a large developed tech roster, I think you're really going to feel that. You're like, no, Silver Centurion is great in this, and trust me, I love Silver Centurion. I did a rank 3 video on him. Or Sentinel's great on that, or I used Guillotine in 29 for this and that. And you can use them for a variety of other things, but when we really came down to it, we're like, no, Ultron Guardian they're just better. They really are. They can cover more ground more easily. It's not that you can't clear it with Kang. It's that these other champions just do it a little more easy, a little more efficient, let's say. The one champion, I don't have them highlighted in pink here, but Slay has really been making a strong push for Penny Parker. It's making a lot of sense. I still feel very comfortable with her there in that grouping with Nebula, Sentinel, Silver Centurion, and Guillotine 2099, because there's so many scenarios where they are excellent. But I feel like Ultron Guardian are either better in a variety, a larger grouping of sets, right, or scenarios, or they're just even better in those limited scenarios. In general, I just think they're overall stronger champions. But as this game develops, I could see Penny Parker moving up. We were so scared of her as a defender and attacking her. I think now, especially with Battlegrounds and going up against Nick Furies and things like that, we're seeing how valuable she is as an attacker as well. Moving into the skill. Okay, I am going to touch it. It's a hot button issue. We're going to talk briefly about Mole Man. Now, I think it was almost a year ago, somewhere in there, I demoted Mole Man. And again, you, the viewer, let me know you did not like that. When I told you, he is not functioning the way his abilities are written. If he were to be fixed, I still think he'd be an excellent champion. I'd probably move him below Shang-Chi, though. Because the ability to stay in frenzy and have that true strike and just go crazy hog wild with it, it is amazing. I'm not going to wade into the waters of whether I think it's good for the game or bad for the game if he stays the way he is or anything like that. What I do think, and because this is what I think is more important, is that I'd like communication on it. If they're going to fix him, I wish they would have let us know a very long time ago, because it's been known that he was bugged or that he wasn't working the way his description worked. And if they're like, no, his description is just not written properly, I would have liked to have known that. And I think a game where we spend so much time trying to acquire a champion and accumulate resources to grow an account, and there's only so many resources and they're limited, and we're tackling this large, very vast game that I keep talking about. It'd be really nice to know if our champion's going to get changed or not, if they're aware that it might happen. So I would like the communication on that. Legacy put out a fantastic video on the Mole Man situation and on scenarios or solutions that he felt would be strong. I'm not going to do a whole synopsis on that video. I just would say, if you're interested in what I think, and then obviously what the Legacy thinks too, go ahead and watch it. Smart young man put out a really nice video. I really liked his solutions for the Mole Man scenario. But for now, Mole Man stays in the tier above all. Shang-Chi. Oh, those of you who've been following this for a long time, I've got a rank 4 Shang-Chi. It was my first rank 4. I absolutely love playing this champion. I've really struggled to explain why he's been demoted from tier above all to top shelf. And one of them things that's a struggle is that, or that I want to convey, is that top shelf is still one of the best champions in the game. It's amazing. And I keep making it sound like it's a pure skill issue, not skill of the class, but that you have to be highly skilled to get the most amazing results. And that is part of it, but there's another little part, and I'm going to try again to explain this, is that even with that high skill, you're still getting the results of basically a Kingpin with low skill, or Mole Man would be cool, of Mole Man with a lower skill set, or even Fury with a lower skill set. I do think he's amazing. I could see the game progressing in ways that allows him to shine and get back up to tier above all or supersede them with that high skill. If that happens, I will definitely be moving him up. I have no doubts or reservations about that. I think he's incredible. Now we move on to Night Thrasher. Check out B's video. Go and just tell him I said hi. It's awesome. I love the way this guy plays the game. He's so incredibly smart and so skilled. When you watch his videos, you're like, oh, okay. okay, that looked pretty easy. I should do that. It really reminds me of watching MP plays, to be purely forthright on this one. So then just moving on down, you see where all those champions are ranked. Let's go ahead and move on to the last class of Cosmic. All right, not a ton to talk about in Cosmic. You see it's been very static there from the following month. It makes sense. We haven't had too many major changes in the game or anything like that. But we got to talk about my boy Hulkling. Ooh, wow, do I love this champion. Now, you see where I got him ranked. No, I don't think he's the next Hercules, but you know what? I don't think anyone is. I really think that's the last we see of that. I feel like the game's moving to this great place of a bunch of top shelf and super premium champions. I feel like that's where they're moving. I think it's intentional. I think that's what the balancing program they've told us it's all about. Now it's just about them pulling it off, and so far, so good. I know there's concerns about him being rebalanced and all of that. The one thing I could reasonably maybe see happening is the potency of his pure buffs. I got this idea actually from Campo MC, smart guy, smart player. I could see the potency of his pierce buffs being diminished a little bit. That would make sense to me because he does hit insanely hard through the block. The thing is, he eventually then goes unblockable, which in general is an amazing thing, right? I've talked about that. I just put out a video, well, depending on when you see this, but I just put out a video on, look, save for Hulkling. I think if you're around for save for Blade, save for Hulkling. I'll do my best to quickly talk about it, but I put out the Essentials video on him. I highly recommend you check that out because it really goes over everything on Hulkling, the Essentials, right? But yeah, really diverse immunity set there that can come into play. It allows you to take a variety of nodes and defenders. He is a tough defender. I think as people start fighting him, you're going to see you're really going to want the Hood or that Mojo or that Tiger, I guess. I'm sure Rintro would be very good, or Wiccan. Or find some other ways to take him out, right? Legacy just did it with a rank 4 Kitty Pride in War. Now, all of those buffs he's got going, he can heal if you make mistakes, which I love. I love a heal, a champion that helps me, a mistake-prone player, helps me heal up from that. I love that about him. So he's got like some health, some survivability to him, going unblockable, that massive SP2, right? If you throw it when you're unblockable, you get a really nice Fury. And you'll see this, I'll put out a video eventually on it. I awaken mine. I know he's coming in the Future Crystal in just 3 weeks, but I want to use him in War, and I just enjoy playing him that much. I awakened him, and I put in, I think, 119 6 stones, so that Fury will last that much longer, because it's not just about that big SP2. It's about how hard you're hitting after it's over. And then you can throw that delightful SP1 to get your charges going more quickly. You're gaining power every time you convert them into a buffs. I took out the EOP Hercules, who is annoying. It's annoying Hercules. And it felt like I was just, but I did not feel the need at any point of time in the fight to block, to get power, right? Because that's how that node works out. I just played and I was gaining so much power by converting my charges into buffs that it just felt like I was getting normal combat power. In fact, a pretty high combat power rating. So I really like that champion. Those of you who saw last month's ranking know that I'm struggling to keep up with the screenshot. It's not that I don't want to do it. It's just, it just takes so much time as they add more champions. So I really am sorry. The name is escaping me and I'm so sorry, but a really cool member on my Discord server who's been really active lately actually found a way to create it as a screenshot. I'll talk to them again, see if they're willing to do it, and we'll get that posted on the important resources there on my Discord server, because I know the screenshot's nice. I understand why folks like it, and that's kind of cool. To be honest, it's a little flattering that people would be willing to take a screenshot of something I've produced with the help of the MCoC Illuminati. Let me know what you think we got right. Let me know what you think we got wrong. I always learn so much from reading the comments of these videos. I love doing it every month. I hope you're enjoying your summer and having an absolute blast with MCoC. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.
I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.